Hello and welcome to a random stream in some hotel room in the middle of the United States. I am Peter Vaughan from Cardboard Alchemy. This is our usual Friday stream. I do not have my colorful Critter Kitchen background behind me, sadly, but I'm traveling at a game convention, but I still wanted to catch the live and say hi. We're in the middle of getting ready for our Kickstarter. I've got Rosie, our comms manager, in the chat to say hi, to get your questions. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for chiming in. We got all these nice hellos going on. Tim's in the chat. Tim, you did an awesome video about Andromeda's Edge Genesis that I saw on TikTok. That was a lot of fun. So we've got people from all over. I can see different countries represented here. We have someone, Miho, just be careful if you're going to be driving while streaming. I'm not driving. I have reached my destination. I'm at I'm in New York at near Canada. I might just flee to Canada based on all the things that are happening. We'll see if that happens in the middle of this whole adventure. But anyway, I've also got Rosie here, and we're going to talk about a lot of the things we're here to talk about. Flamecraft or Critter Kitchen or Andromeda's Edge, whatever you want to chat about, how to make a board game, how to get ready for a Kickstarter. We can talk about Flamecraft Duels, which is coming in 11 days to Kickstarter, presuming nothing crazy blows up. We are still planning on launching this thing. There are some things to resolve about the lovely tariff situation, but we're so excited about making a new game in the Flamecraft universe. So yeah, we can talk about any of those things, and we've got this nice Faith to say so excited for Duels. So excited for Duels. I appreciate that very much. So if anyone doesn't know, Flamecraft Duels is a 2-player, and we just revealed in last week's stream it's actually also going to have a solo mode. It's a 2-player game where you're basically making patterns, and you're trying to get these shop cards, because in Flamecraft you have these shops that the dragons like to go to. You're trying to complete these shop cards and score the most points by the end. And to do that, you're making these combos of dragons and patterns, and each dragon has an ability, not the same ability that it has in Flamecraft, but as you put down a token on the board, it activates its power, and then that you can use that power to help you get these matches. It's very quick. Its advantage over Flamecraft is that it is like 20-30 minutes, and it is travel ready. We're making the box. It's our smallest box that we've ever made. And we're making it so you can just throw that in a backpack or a game bag and just go. Counting down. Thank you for counting down. You know what we like to do? I don't know if anyone's watched some of my past Kickstarters, but I started this thing during Dwellings of Eldervale, where I count down as we reach 7 days to go. We put up a social image that's like 7, 6, 5, 4, and it's a lot of fun. We did those on Critter Kitchen, on Flamecraft, on Andromeda, and we're going to put those images up next week. Duels in your pocket. It's not that small. Here, let me bring on Rosie to show you how small it is, because Rosie's got the box right there. Look at that.
Hello.
Pocket, but it's definitely purse or backpack sized, right? Oh, you're gonna open it up. So the deluxe has a lock on it, which we're really excited about, so that you can just open it up. And it becomes the board as you open it. You're ready to go, and it's got these little tabs that lift open, and then you can store the tokens on one side and the cards and the mini. This is not in Rosie's cup, but look, there's a dragon miniature in it. This is
you got that one? I don't have that one.
only one of these right now. We're working on making this miniature that goes in the deluxe edition, because there's a mode of play where you it's called the Fountain, and you can actually add some cards to your game. Oh, so Rosie's got them all in a bag. Right now it's a prototype, so we will ignore what game that said on the other side.
Yeah, the bag is just a generic bag that I had.
Our bag is going to be velvet and 2 different colors, and it's going to be, oh man, it's so much fun. But so Rosie's got all these tokens. The tokens turned out real chonky and fun. You've got tokens with dragons on them, and then you've got these dual tokens, which are 2 different colors and feature some of our new friends to Flamecraft. So we're getting ready to share this with you. This is consuming our lives at the moment because we are trying to make the Kickstarter happen. But this is part of what is, it's the fun. It's like, this is my 11th Kickstarter, or 10th. It's confusing because there's a game found in there. But there's this roller coaster ride when you go on when you build a Kickstarter. There are very, very big highs, and there are also like freaking out when you go over the top and you hit the launch button, and all the things that go into hitting that button is something else. We have to there's so many things that go into it that requires our entire team. For example, Rosie has been writing a lot of different texts to go into the page. We've got an animation studio. We partner with Oniro, and they're working on a trailer that goes on the campaign. I cannot wait to show you the trailer that's going to be coming out. Axel's asking if they slide. Now, this is a prototype, so you can see that they're not sliding, but they're going to get even better because we're going to work on a surface on the top of it that's going to hopefully reduce the amount that it slides. But we have not noticed that it's that bad, unless you obviously, you can make them move if you want to, but it should be fun.
Yeah, I think all travel games have this potential. Right. Even Azul Travel.
We have not solved the universe of physics, but we have made it so that this game is portable, and the cards are all in the deluxe edition. They're all plastic. They're plastic cards because that's actually waterproof, so that you can. Not that I'm saying you could play this at a pool, but you could play it somewhere where some, at a beach maybe, where stuff gets on the cards and you don't have to worry about it. I mean, play a game right now, but of course you'd have to pull the token for me, and I'd have to see.
It would be difficult.
But we do have a tabletop simulator that people have been playing in our Discord, Faith included, and we're going to have that tabletop simulator version open during the Kickstarter so that people can play it and figure out if Duels is for them.
And there's a solo mode, which is very similar to playing it against someone in the sense of you're doing the similar things. So maybe we'll be able to do a solo mode playthrough.
Yeah,
in one
absolutely.
So yeah.
Thank you for saying so, Stephanie. Those are gorgeous. The chips are really fun. They've come out really cute.
They're very cute.
So I was gonna say we're animating the trailer, but also we're doing Chris Strain and I go way back, and Chris used to do Kickstarter pages, and one of the things that Chris always said that he likes better than, say, a wall of text is just show me how to play in GIFs. That's what I want. Show me how to play with GIFs. And I was like, Chris, can you make some GIFs for this page? And he's like, I'm on it. So we're going to have all of the fun stuff. We have an exciting thing to launch with this, which is called Dragons and Dragons, which is all these mini expansions for Flamecraft itself. And Sandara just drew the cover for that one, and she decided to cram as many dragons into the cover as she could.
So cool.
It's really fun. So we're having so much fun making games here, and can't wait to share more with you.
Yeah, even though we're using a lot of the art from Flamecraft, there's still a lot of new art. It's really exciting.
This is one of those things where I believe I said to Sandara, it'll be a piece of cake because Jules is going to use all the same artwork. It's the same artwork. And then it's actually been funny because there was one moment where Sandara said, we can't just use the same artwork. I want to draw new stuff. So one of the things that she drew here, it's actually also on the back of the box. She drew this beautiful new scene of the dragons playing at the fountain. It's so fun, and it's not going to come out as fun as it actually is, but in the game, she put some of that artwork in there. The fountain cards all have a scene of dragons. So What is our favorite Duels dragon?
It's really hard, but we did just share one. Let me
Now,
see
it's
if I
interesting
can.
that when there's something that I should also clarify is that in Duels itself, there are actually only 6 dragons that share 2 types. So we've introduced the idea that dragons can be 2 types of artisan. But we ported all of the dual types into Flamecraft. So even if there isn't potion bred in Duels, there is a potion bred. And here's a good example. Neither of these 2 dragons are in Duels, the game, but both of these 2 dragons, which are combos, Chowder is potion meat and Rosemary is bred plant. Both of those are going inside Flamecraft as cards you can play. You can get these dragons on your team. You can play and put them in different shops, and each one has a different power. I love these 2, by the way, Chowder and Rosemary.
Yeah, Rosemary might be my fave. It's hard because I also love calzone and waffle. A lot of
all the bread ones are always the winners, right? Because waffle is bread and potion, and waffle's carrying like a big pot of coffee and has a donut. I mean, seriously, Chowder though could rival. Like, to me, what I love about Chowder is that we just made Critter Kitchen, and Sandara was the artist for Critter Kitchen, and that soup bowl just makes me like feel like this is the moment where that Chowder was just visiting Bistro Bay and has come by and said, like, I learned a new recipe. So it's pretty fun to see that.
Very cute.
I know, Axel. I know. I have suggested that perhaps someday we should pull that up. We'll see.
They're very cute. I love Rosemary. Just the little bees floating around.
Yeah. Bees.
But yeah.
So those are some of the fun things that we're working on.
Do people want to see a photo of Plush? Do people want to see?
Oh, I'm sure they want to. I mean,
I want to hear some like, yes, please.
Okay. Show Plush dragons. Now, on this campaign, we are a board game manufacturer, but we happen to also, in our first campaign, we came up with the idea of doing a plush dragon, one of these dragons in plush form. And then everybody on that campaign said, are you going to do more? We were like, no, we're just going to do one. We picked a bread dragon, of course. We just picked a bread dragon. But the campaign went gangbusters, and we reached $1 million, and we unlocked the second plush, which was a meat dragon, which are the 2 classics, I guess. And then during the time that Flamecraft has been out in stores, people have said, well, you want a potion dragon. We want a crystal dragon. And you know what got demanded the most? It was the plant dragon, which we have not made yet. Oh, you're doing the box reveal again.
Ellie missed
it.
Right.
Yeah, you got to see the way it opens. Yeah. So the plant dragon always represented sort of a challenge, which is like, how are we going to get a plant dragon with leaves on it, and how is that going to look, cute and everything? And then, well, this Kickstarter is going to reveal the plant dragon and the iron dragon. The iron dragon and the plant dragon complete the set of artisans. So
and Sandara, we've sent some of the plush prototypes to Sandara because it's her creations and she should check them. Yeah. And she sometimes takes lovely pictures, and there is this picture.
She does the best. I take pictures with it, but she's like, let me give you the authentic.
Your iron pictures are hilarious, though.
I recently went out and took pictures of the Iron Dragon because I was trying to be as cool as Sandara. And she does the best job. I don't know if anyone remembers the original campaign. She drew like the bread dragon was actually like making a cinnamon roll, and like the meat dragon was in pots and pans and like cooking because it's a chef dragon. And so basically, Sandara, she's really good at this. And I was like, well, what if I could do this too? So I took the Iron Dragon for a spin to local hardware stores. And I was on the search for somewhere that has an anvil because I wanted the Iron Dragon like working on an anvil. So I will share that picture when I have it.
I'm actually amazed you found one. We were going to be the only producer of Flamecraft anvils, but apparently everyone makes anvils. So
and
maybe we don't need to make them.
They make them like artisan dragon size, because this was like little small anvils I found in this one store, and it kind of was like perfect size.
Okay, that's adorable.
It was pretty adorable. Yeah.
Nothing can beat the Potion Dragon Christmas tree.
Oh, that's true. I did do. So I had an idea to share the Potion Dragon, and I put it in my Christmas tree in several spots, and I photoshopped all of the spots together so that the entire tree, because I only had one plush at the time, and so I made it seem like the whole tree was full of the Potion Dragon.
It was stunning.
We will next week. Remind me, Rosie, we could share the anvil picture of our Iron Dragon, and then we'll do that fun tree picture too.
I did just have a very quick search, and we clearly didn't use the word Christmas tree when you messaged it. So.
Thank you for bringing that up, Ellie. That was a lot of fun. I think also when we did the potion and the crystal dragon, it was very hard to represent the potion with like some beakers and liquids. I think we could do more Potion Dragon photos. That's what we eventually.
I did take the 4 to Borough Market in London and did a video of hiding them around relevant food stands. So if you look at our TikTok, you can watch me attempt to hide them before people spot what I'm doing.
Yeah, so this was a funny moment because Sundar took this picture, and then I went and took the iron pictures, and to take the iron pictures, and I took some of plant ones myself. And I would go to like nurseries, and I would like move plants to take this shot. And then at the hardware stores, I would take down tools or move ladders and do this thing and take the anvil out. And the store employees were like, "What are you doing?" But no one stopped me. Like they don't care. So Sundar says, like, you could just move stuff around in a store and take pictures. And I was like, yeah. They're all amused by the fact that this adult walks in with plush. I went to do you have Sur La Table in the UK?
No. What's that?
Sur La Table is a fancy like gourmet like pots and pans type store. So I walked in and they've got cast iron and they've got like all their knives and they've got like a demo counter, and I started like taking the demo counter and like taking pots and knives and then making a scene with the Iron Dragon, and they're like, can I help you? Can I interest you in anything? I'm like, yeah, I'm just thinking about getting some of these cast iron pans. I just want to see if it works with my plush. Yeah. Don't try this at home.
I've done many things like this. When I used to take product photos of enamel pins, I would go into like Lush and take photos of them. I've done that with the dragon pins. Also, top tip, if anyone needs to take photographs of cakes, you can get free samples of wallpaper from like Home Depot and wherever you get wallpaper from. And you're allowed to take like a couple of meters because you're checking it at home, but I'm just using them for backgrounds for cakes because that's what I used to do. So yeah.
Plush is a good call because you could stick like a pin inside a soap, get that awesome like.
I don't think you can stick it in the soap.
They're not going to do it. It's fine. The soap.
But there's a lot of beautiful colors and swirling patterns for sure. I did take the Potion Dragon there, and I did get some looks because they're very friendly in Lush. They'll go, "Do you need some help? Do you need some help?" And you're like,
"Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm fine."
Yeah.
But yeah, I
was in places like, and Manny was saying you should go into Home Depot and we could make some Gnome Depot pun thing. Well, I was in places like Home Depot and no one cared. Not a single person said, "Can I help you with a ladder?" or "Can I get you do you need any?" They do not care whatsoever.
No, there's a select number of stores that are overly friendly, and Lush is definitely considered one of them, where it's like, just leave me alone.
Right.
I just want to take photos of my products in your shop.
I was in this one hardware. I had to go to a local hardware store because the Home Depot types didn't have anvils. So I went into one and I walked around for a while, didn't see the anvil, and I was like, "Do you have anvils here?" And I thought because I was holding an Iron Dragon plush, it was going to be weird, but they were like, "Yeah, it's down that aisle. It's fine. It's all good."
I'm amazed you got anvils. I'm amazed.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool. We also did something else this week. I think it's fairly important. Tim might know what that was.
Does Tim know about what we announced this week?
I think he does. A little bit.
Well,
I actually loved his video he did because it looked like he was just like, like, "Oh my goodness, I have to film."
That's funny. Yes, we did. Meanwhile, like Kickstarter, it's like meanwhile on GameFound, we announced that there's an expansion coming for Andromeda's Edge called Genesis. Now we've talked about it on this stream before, and we've leaked it over here, but it is new to a lot of people. And GameFound does something really cool called the Feast, where they basically highlight the biggest and best campaigns coming. And so we talked to them, and they said, "Oh, we want to talk. If you're going to launch Genesis, we want to talk about it." So I did a video with Alex, Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And he was asking me questions about it. So I leaked even more stuff, and then we put up a page. So it's official now. We're actually going to make Genesis.
We're on 5,400 followers already.
Wait, is it surpassing our?
It might surpass Flamecraft Duels.
Flamecraft Duels over on Kickstarter. If you haven't joined the notification page, I think we're close to 6,000 followers over there. Meanwhile, Andromeda Genesis is hold my lithium crystals. Let me show you how I could get followers even faster. And it's a bunch of people interested in that game.
So the links for Genesis and Duels are below in the description if you want to go along and follow.
Since Tim Chun is here, and I have told them this, but I mean, if you haven't seen this, we have leaked that you are going to be able to take over the Raider opponents, the intergalactic raiders that are coming out of the nebula to attack you. You can play cards to dominate them, to, as Luke is saying in this version, commandeer them and make them your own, which means you can take over the Hive and the Mortality Sphere and the Ion Storm. You can take over these massive minis that become yours to use until you botch it, until you lose a battle. But it's what we had in Dwellings of Eldervale, and specifically also we were answering one of Tim's he did this awesome game of the year, Drums Edges #1. Thank you, Tim, appreciate it. And he was saying that the one thing that he was kind of really wishing for is a little bit more unique Raider benefits. So one of the things we put in, and Tim's the only person I've actually seen call this out yet on his video, he was actually looking at the cards going, hey, there's a new effect of permanent type of card. Well, yes, when you beat a Raider now, there's something called Exotech. And Exotech allows you to sort of steal that Raider technology for yourself. Some of that technology is going to let you control them. Some of it's going to give you cool abilities that you've never had in this game. So every time you beat a Raider, you could choose its standard reward that's printed on the card, or you can choose an Exotech card. And I'm super excited about how much fun the Exotech cards are going to bring to this game, because you're like, ooh, I need to go up the science track, so I just beat that Raider and I need to take that reward. But what if I take an Exotech? I'm going to steal their technology. And sometimes it's technology that is super cool and powerful, but it's not what you need at that moment. Yes. Tim, you're going to love, okay, there's this one card where you steal a tech from a Raider that actually causes damage to all, you can basically blast it off like an EMP that just damages everyone around you. You're going to love these cards. They're doing some awesome stuff. I think you called out the one that we showed on the campaign where you get to move a development into the nebula, which just opens up the ability to develop.
Zoomed in.
Yeah, he zoomed in. They're really fun.
Cunning Visions just said, I just got my all in Andromeda's Edge. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, first, Tim Chun actually has a how to play video, which might be a big help for you. Also, we have a load of little 5-minute faction videos. So if you're choosing which faction to play, maybe have a watch of those. Every single one is the best faction in the game.
That's right.
Yeah, we have a bunch of content. We also have some playthroughs that you could watch. So yeah, maybe start with some of those if you're not really sure. But yeah, definitely have a look at Tim's how to play though.
So it was a great how to play. It really covers, it really goes into sort of the vibe of the game. And I think that the faction videos are just if you're looking, because if you have all the factions in the base, the expansion and the promos, you have 18. And the appendix, by the way, has every faction, and also it's listed as rank 1 or 2. The 2 ones are a little bit more complicated to get your head around how to score the best with them. The ones are pretty straightforward, but they all do something totally different. So if you like to attack people, there's a couple that There's the space pirates, and there's the Kraln, and then there's the warmongers, the Zodian warmongers. But if you don't like that and you want to be like more engine building, and I just want to stay out of everyone's way, there's like the Tulzine porters, and there's the Flamecraft dragons themselves, because they don't like to fight. They just want to like cruise around and build stuff. So we cover that in all those videos. That should help.
Absolutely.
Oh, good. Has watched them. Good. Excellent. You're ready. The other thing to know about Andromeda's Edge, and this is something that I can't ever like, we made a game that is so much fun, even when, say, you're getting your butt kicked. In my opinion, it's the type of game where you have the strategy going, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the coolest engine, and I'm going to go up the science track, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to build here. And then everyone's in your face. So it's going to take some time to get used to the game. I definitely think you should play the base before you start adding in things. Some people just like start throwing everything in, but we built a lot of mini expansions. So you could play 2v2 mode. You could add different modules. You could do different event decks. There are so many ways you can juice that game up. So Absolutely. Be aware that if you play at 4 and 5 player count, someone's going to get wrecked. It could be you. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I love playing even if I'm getting wrecked.
Same. Yeah. I just enjoy working on my little engine. Little engine that could, and I'm like, well, there's a space there. I'm going to go over there and develop. I like to develop really early because I know that later on I'm going to struggle. So I'm just like, go.
There's 2 factions. So there's 18 factions currently. Genesis is adding 3 more factions. I can't even 21 factions to choose from. But 2 of the new factions are very heavily based on developing fast. Like that is their jam. And I've tried to play them and not develop fast, and just not good. So you need to like lean in. Some factions have like this one, you got to lean into the way that it likes to play. So it's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. Yeah. But no, there were some questions from people. I said, anyone got any questions? And we have Mark Todd sent a lot of questions. Mark Todd, I think his name was.
Okay.
So here is 6 questions about Genesis.
Okay. Can I buy Wooden Moon tokens? Yes. Cardboard Alchemy has 2 stores. There's a US, which ships just to the US, and there's a UK store, which ships to everywhere else. UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, anywhere you are. So we have Wooden Moon tokens that are left over from the Game Found. I was going to say Kickstarter, but it's crowdfunding. We have Wooden Moon tokens that you can get to upgrade your tokens. The reason why those aren't considered those aren't in the deluxe because not everybody wants to do that. But if you do want to make all of the tokens wood, we got you covered. Maybe Mark's asking on the campaign as well, because we currently sell Wood Moon tokens right now. But if you want to wait and you're thinking, will Genesis, the campaign, have Wood and Moon tokens? Probably. We want to keep making these Wood Moon tokens. We have some in stock right now. When we run out, I think the Genesis campaign will be a chance to make some more. So, usually when you're manufacturing anything, bulk orders are how you get that stuff done. So we'll put them as an add-on that you can go for over there, but you can get them right now. Will it introduce new raiders? Absolutely. We are not done making raiders because we got to think of more ways that you can get your butt kicked in Andromeda's Edge. Oh, Brad has reality checking in for the UK store is out of Wooden Moons. That means you can't get them right now. So Genesis, that's what we're going to do.
Well, the US store still has them.
The US store still has them. I don't know.
If you're anywhere else, then
I don't know if it's shipping other places, but you can check it out.
We did predict that the moons would be very popular.
Yeah, the thing about the Wooden Moons is they cost a lot to make wooden pieces, so we always struggle with we can't bake them into the base game. They would inflate the cost too much of the base game. And then we make them thinking, well, these are kind of pricey. No one wants to get these, right? And then everyone always surprises me, no, 100% want Wooden Moons and wooden discovery tokens, everything wood, please, 100%. Now, this started because in Dwellings of Eldervale, there were treasure tokens, and they were made out of wood, which was somewhat thematic because it was fantasy. So Peter, the moon being made out of wood, seems pretty athematic. Yeah, I get that. Okay, but wood is what it is. To Mark's questions, we were on the new raiders. 100% we're introducing new raiders. I cannot tell you what the raiders are yet, but resistance is futile. Number 3, will you consider alternate cards for existing raiders? That's interesting. I should talk about that with Luke. We have not thought about doing that, but that is a good point. We could make alternate, we could make alternate cards so that we don't have to have as many minis in the box. Storage options for new stuff for existing backers. I think the first box is big enough without an extra box. Well, that is something that we are trying to solve with Genesis. If you look at the tile locations in Genesis in the base box, they actually have room for more tiles, and there's more room for factions and ship upgrade tiles. There's even room for raiders if you get creative and you stick them where the current bases are, where the standees are. So we're going to try and make it so that all of the new content will fit in the existing box. But I have to put an asterisk on that, saying that if you are sleeving, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight, and you might say it doesn't fit technically. However, where there's a will, there's a way. I know that somebody, like if we're going to make an extra deck of event cards, that's going to be pretty hard if it's sleeved, but you can rubber band those and get those in the pouch in the top of the box. Like there is a way to get it in there. It's not going to be like, hey, it was designed for these. What we tried to do is make it so that you could take it to game night with just one box. We'll see. I definitely think if you're not sleeving, you can do it. If you're sleeving, there'll be some creative options. We could show some pictures of like, maybe you could store these pieces here. What will be GameFound exclusive? That is a good question. The thing about GameFound and our exclusives and so forth is that for this game, we really didn't want gameplay to be. We really have been trying not to make gameplay exclusive. And I'll give you a good example of where people have been frustrated with that, as we did a Dice Tower promo this year, and everyone's like, I now I have to go get this over here, which, I totally understand that. So all of the content that we're putting on the Genesis campaign is going to be in retail. I believe that the reason to back in GameFound was going to continue to be that you're going to get it first and you're going to get it cheapest. But it is going to go to retail. Now, I say that, and we're in the middle of one of the craziest times in board game history with the whole tariffs in the United States. So one of the things that's going to happen is it may get less ordered for retail. It may get delayed ordered for retail. It may actually have a problem getting to retail in the United States. So GameFound may be one of the places to get Genesis, and so you don't want to miss the campaign. As to your last question, which is Space Sharks, it currently does not have Space Sharks. If that is a deal breaker, I am so sorry. There is a creature that's not a shark, but we are looking at an animal type of raider.
Yep.
Anyway.
Thank you, Mark, for those excellent questions. If you ever have questions for us, we always post that we're doing these lives on the Facebook and Discord. So if you want to just send a bunch of questions, might do this again. Who knows?
There you go. I mean, we're happy to help explain what we're doing over here. And if you want to play Genesis and see for yourself and spoil it, you can come into our Discord where we're running some games of Genesis with the people who know Andromeda's Edge, who can like bang on these Exotech cards and see which ones break, which ones don't break. So you're welcome to check it out early. Also, we have a fun thing coming for Andromeda, which is going to be a very big announcement about playing it digitally, which we're going to do. Yes, we're going to talk about digital versions of our games.
I never know what Peter's going to say, okay?
Yeah.
You never know.
I can't wait to talk about Andromeda's Edge more, and we're going to do this duels campaign. We're going to get that taken care of, and then we're going to swing back and we're going to talk a lot more about Genesis because it is coming this summer.
Can someone check on Tim? is Tim okay?
That's right. You know,
he might not have heard it. Maybe he's like, wait, what?
Funny comment, which, you know, made me sad, happy and sad at the same time, which was someone was like, oh, if Andromeda's Edge is getting an expansion, that means that Dwellings of Eldervale is truly not getting one, right? Because this is what should have been done for Dwellings of Eldervale. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go on that soapbox, but like we support this game and we want to make expansions and build the world out and do this thing. So I am excited how fast we are going to come out with Andromeda's content. We're going to keep supporting it. We're going to keep coming out with more stuff. And Luke, who's coming on board Cardboard Alchemy, has tons of ideas for Andromeda's Edge. Let me tell you, he's got ideas for totally self-contained mini games that are in the same world for Andromeda's Edge. Well, there's going to be so much stuff that we're going to talk about for this property because we really believe in it. And we're really excited by all the folks that have gotten a chance to play it. It's actually on Board Game Geek, very highly rated. So we need to get it even more highly. We need to get into the top 100 games of all time is what we got to do. It's actually been nominated this year for a Board Game Geek nomination for what? Heavy Game of the Year? Heavy Game of the Year.
It's a spicy list of games because we also have Ox in there. So it is a lovely list of games, and if we win, that would be awesome.
Yes, we need to take down.
But it's an honor to be in that list.
We're allowed to like solicit votes, right?
I've seen people doing it.
So if you're on Board Game Geek and you care about Andromeda's Edge, please vote for Heavy Game of the Year. Oh, Things and Rings is in that.
Things and Rings is for best party game, I think.
You know, Things and Rings does have some heavy moments, and it's usually when the clue giver has given when the knower has given the wrong clue, and people's brains are like, wait, how could it be in that circle and that circle? Anyway,
absolutely.
So Andromeda's Edge is so we announced Genesis. GameFound was really that's too soon. It's too soon. We launched it. GameFound did a feast announcement, which was really great, and so we're really happy about that. And thanks for all the support.
Tim is definitely not okay and is still recovering from the news.
I can't wait to play Andromeda's Edge again with you, Tim. It's been too long.
I think there's a chance that Tim may never surface it once we do release this because he'll never have a reason not to play.
The thing about Tim's TikToks, if you haven't seen those, is that he also does this thing where he shows you how he's getting ready for game day with the snacks and the games that he's playing. He lays one, he's got a Rascaller, so he lays one on the bottom of the Rascallers, and then he lays another one on the top of the Rascallers, and he has them all set up for everybody. And I go, why can I not live closer to Tim? That's what I think every time. Like, I want to go to these game nights where he's taking care of the people coming over. They have nothing to want for it. The rules are known.
Well, you'll be able to play him all the time.
I mean, seriously.
I love that. We haven't talked about Critter Kitchen at all. We should probably bring up Critter Kitchen.
Okay.
I have some pictures.
Excellent. Let's go on to Critter Kitchen, which is delivering right now to backers. I believe all backers have it except for some extreme regions. I know that it takes like months and months and months and months to get to South Africa and Israel and parts of Indonesia. So there's definitely some places still getting it, but I believe the United States is all settled. And it started going into retail because now I'm seeing the retail box. Oh, nice, Rosie. This is something from the Kickstarter, and it's a beautiful way to decorate your windows. If you apparently want to take tea towels and make them into curtains, it's possible.
I love that Sindara's response was, "It's great, but they're towels, Rosie." And I was like, "Look,
Look at how creative you are. That's really fun that you did that. Now I want to do that.
It's also great because now my neighbor can't see me in the morning. So I'm really appreciative of that because the blind above was gross, and it would have to come all the way down, and we'd lose all the light. So it's actually very useful for me.
Because it's really nice because it lets in the light. Yeah.
It lets in the light, but they can't see me anymore. So it's great.
Thank you, Peter, for saying that Critter Kitchen is also up for Happy Game of the Year. Nice. I wish it was, but I wish it was up for something. But I think we'll have to focus on getting all the people to play it and find out how great it is. Look at this.
I went and played Critter Kitchen with my friends from Box Meeple, June and Libby, and this is what they posted today. They're making a video.
That's so fun.
They had a lot of fun, and it was great. I won, but only because it was a tie with Doug at 40 points. And I was just, my meal was just better in the end, which is the tiebreaker.
Nice.
So
that's always a fun thing.
It was very close. It was like 34, 38, 40, 40. It was a tight game.
Awesome.
But yeah. So look for the video from Boxed Meeples about Critter Kitchen.
Well, the things we got to start talking about with Critter Kitchen when we start talking about it, and I know that I owe everybody some like strategy guides with like these combos. We're going to make some fun graphics of like fun combos you can try from the designer, Peter. But what I want to know, Rosie, is what critic did you play? Did you play mouse? Or did
we did the rabbit.
The rabbit. Rabbit is all about doubling your carrots.
And unfortunately, we were in the position where none of the challenges in the first 3 had any carrots. In fact, the third challenge covered up the carrot. But carrots came out in their bushels. What do you call a group of carrots? Yeah. And everyone was grabbing carrots, thinking that carrots were going to come up. They didn't.
Then you had this: do I save them in my fridge for the next round, or a
lot of 7s came out in the first couple of rounds as well. A lot of 7s. No rumors for like 3 rounds.
Oh wow!
So when we get to the next set of challenges.
Now it's game on.
We're like, where are the carrots?
The carrots, yeah.
So it was great fun.
And then my other question is, what did you play with any carts, or did you play with what Zoo Chefs came out?
So we didn't play with carts because it was Julian Libby's first game.
Okay.
We did play with restaurateurs, and I was Maury Mortar. Kit Joy was out. Oh my goodness, I don't remember the other 2. I remember those 2. Oh no, Julia Wild was out.
Julia Wild, yeah.
And there was the other one who gets to move to the front of priority, get to move forward in the priority track.
It's Marcus Roosterson, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. I liked Maury Mortar because I got to have
Zoo Chefs,
but I was teaching. I forgot to take one on the first first round. So it was fine though. I was teaching and I knew the game very well, and maybe I was giving myself a handicap, but lots of fun with that one. And what was the other question? You asked something else.
Oh, I know. I said what Zoo Chefs came out.
Oh, Zoo Chefs.
Yeah.
Lily always comes out. Everyone always wants Lily out. It's not me.
So that Lily has to come out?
Well, I picked 6 at random, and then they were like, we've got to have Lily. And so we swapped out a 1.
Oh, I see. I got you.
I'm not frog mad, I swear.
Nice. Excellent.
But yeah, so Lily did come out, and hey, Chris, we are talking Critter Kitchen.
Yeah, we are.
And
I'm asking Rosie what she played. The Rabbit Critic, she played Maury Motter, and now she's saying
the Zebra came out.
Okay, Stripes.
And Doug was really good at sending his board to places that no one went. The amount of times he cleaned up, like the Garden Top shop, or I was just like, how are you doing this? Was not fair.
There's people who chime in and say, "Oh, the board is terrible because I can never get anything." It's like, get good is what I gotta say. Just keep getting good.
After like many plays, I still send my board to the same place. Everyone sends their board. For some reason, everyone thinks the Midnight Merchant is the place to go.
You have to know when everyone's going to the Midnight Merchant, and then the next round you do it, or you go, nope, everyone's gonna do it one more time. It is very hard to get that right, but you have to get that cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some people sharing some pictures. I really liked these cookies. Look,
those are
amazing. Awesome. They actually used the cookie recipe that came with the
cards,
but they made them twice as thick and replaced half the sugar with brown sugar, which sounds amazing. They'll be softer rather than snappier, which is really nice. And their oven clearly works very well because the edges are evenly browned rather than mine, which is usually half and half.
I do want to make them. There's somebody who made chocolate ones.
Mm.
And I want to make chocolate ones, and then perhaps do some, like, I don't even know if I can do this, like where it's like light lines of white or something.
If you're good with a piping bag, it's totally doable.
Well, I don't know if I am, but that's what I want to try, because I kind of want to make some chocolate ones or some gingerbread ones, basically.
I like the idea of dipping them in chocolate, so they've been in like some mud bath, just like half dipped.
Yeah, I got to make cookies with these cookie cutters for sure.
Absolutely.
We're doing that with the, with the merch that we had with that campaign.
And Deanne, you asked on the post for this, share your pictures of your games, and so Deanne did.
Oh, cool!
And they played with the cockatoo, and so that was
that's like my favorite one.
They're a lot of fun.
Well, there's two, and I've said this before. The Chimera allows you to bring out two critics, and you bring out one of them as the cockatoo, which is definitely my favorite critic, because it allows everyone to have a Zoo Chef power every round of the game, and it's insane. But I don't recommend playing until you understand the game a little bit, but definitely the cockatoo at that point is like fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's debatable what other critic I'd want with the cockatoo. I often say the hippo, because the hippo allows you to use all the challenge cards, and you keep getting to serve one of the challenge cards all the time, which to me is just like so much fun, because it means that everything I'm grabbing in the game is useful, pretty much. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Also, I gifted them a deluxe copy of Critter Kitchen as Julian's birthday present, and we unboxed it as a trio in 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Yeah. That's amazing.
I think it helps that I know it really well.
You're like, okay, I got this.
I made the videos, so it went from me making the video over the course of about 4 hours because of all the transitions to like putting everything away.
Oh, this is an interesting comment, actually, because carts are meant to be the expansion, but Impy says, I taught different new people, CK, with and without carts, and found carts made it better for new people, as there were more really nice things to pick up.
Yeah, I'd say there are probably some carts that are easier to start with than others, because you don't want to learn even more rules for your first time, but some of the carts are very simple in what you're doing. So, are there any carts you would recommend, Peter?
Like a good example is organic, because organic is just ingredients that are 8 instead of 7. 7 is the highest ingredient you could get. Organic is 8. And the twist with those is that they go away because they're fresh. They go away at the end of each day. So if you see like an organic 8 mushroom and you're not repulsed because it's a mushroom, then you go, all right, I'm going to grab this mushroom. But if you don't use it in that challenge that day, it's over. That mushroom's not going to be good anymore, as if it was good in the first place.
Absolutely.
Organic is good. The other ones Peter is throwing out there, I was going to say, mystery box is just rolling a die to go into the bag. So you're choosing, do I want to grab this 4 meat, or do I want to gamble, roll the die, and maybe it lets me get 2 things out of the bag. Dumplings is good because it helps your soup. I would also say that, he's got some more. Ice. Ice is good because there's a storage capacity. Your fridge can only hold 5 items in the first day, and it can only hold 10 items in the second day, and ice makes it so you can hold more items. Flowers is a tough one. I mean, it's easy to understand though. If you're the first to grab something, your chef feels obligated to grab the flowers. You have to grab the flowers also. So you get your item, and then you also get flowers, and flowers take up room in your fridge, and you lose a point if you have the most. So it's not what you were supposed to be shopping for. But they're really fun, actually.
Yeah, I really liked playing with coffee when we did the 7-player video. That was a lot of fun, but mostly because of how Jenna was.
Yeah. Coffee's really fun because you get to take an extra turn. But if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, Critter Kitchen has 18 different location powers that you can add. And the way that the designers, I threw this challenge at them at the beginning, which is that I don't want to just play Critter Kitchen. Here's the thing. We could have just made Critter Kitchen and called it a day, because it's a really fun game. The core game is awesome. But I was like, but I just want like variety, so that one day I'm playing it with coffee, and the next day I'm playing it with like tofu, or I'm playing balloons. And it kind of got ridiculous. Thank you, backers, for making it ridiculous. We kept stretch goal after stretch goal was like unlocked another thing, unlocked another thing. So we put 18 different ways to modify the locations in the board, and the combos are what's going to be really fun. That's one of the things we're going to release is like, here are some great combos. This critic with these carts and these restaurateurs. That's going to be fun because then you can try those out for yourself and see what you think. See which one is your favorite.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It kind of feels like whenever you visit a market, like a Bistro Bay, there's like a new market stall. Like it's like a different day.
Yeah,
like
which is fun. It's like the vibe of Flamecraft too, where you have different shops that open. So to me, that's sort of some of the secret sauce about when you're making a game is, and maybe it's just my preference and I've just forced it upon every game we're making, but I like that variety. I like it so much where I'm playing Andromeda's Edge. Maybe last time I played with a different raider and a different event deck and a different set of tiles, and then Flamecraft, the last time I played, we didn't have this shop and that shop and the other thing. So Critter Kitchen is the same way. I think someone calculated all the combos, and it's whatever I was going to say, it's like millions. I don't know. There's so many different ways that game can come together.
Oh, this is great. I played CK last night with my friends who requested it after seeing the cookies. We had, of course, a great wine as we played. I love that. That's awesome. I feel like we should have stuck a label on a bottle of wine, like Critter Kitchen.
Yeah,
2025.
Yeah, it's good for food parties, right? Because there is naturally all this food in there, and then we have wine as one of the ingredients, so it's perfect.
Absolutely. It definitely makes me hungry. For the last 10 minutes, we'll swing back round to our, the game we're working on right now.
Oh yeah, the Duels that's coming out.
And just if anyone's got any questions about running a Kickstarter or the things that it takes in the lead up to doing it, if you're curious,
I don't know.
This is where we're at right now. He's like, don't be curious. don't.
How will I answer how to do a Kickstarter, Rosie? I don't know.
Well, I think every company has their own way of doing it.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Our focus is very community driven. We really like to make it feel like an event, like an experience that you're taking part in. And when you get the game, you go, I helped get this to reality, and I feel like I'm a part of this game. And that's something we love to do. Whereas other companies will, and it's perfectly valid, just do very little other than like make the game. They'll just be like,
I talked to a company that shall remain nameless for this reason, but they were telling me, how can I make a Kickstarter like Flamecraft? And I was like, well, I've started telling them some ideas. They're like, oh, well, we've already started printing the game and it's going to be at this convention. And I go, well, don't do that, because that's going to make all of the backers feel like it doesn't even matter if they back. And they were like, yeah, well, we just want to get it out. And I was like, okay, so you're not making me feel like there's any reason to, but for some companies, it is, that is what it is, right? It's just I don't like to use it as a pre-order system. I like to use it as, this game will not exist unless the community wills it to be so. I mean, we want to make duels and we want to make it all blinged out and all the stuff. And what we have to go do, because that is not a retail friendly idea to make things blinged out. So what I think Kickstarter is really good for is, should it exist like this? Now, what's funny about that is when you do that, then you invite all this feedback. Jamie Stegmaier once explained that it's like baking cookies or baking a cake with people watching you and then also commenting. You know what I think you should stick in that batter? You know what? I always turn the oven to this degrees. So it's very funny that you're making something with a team of people.
Yeah.
But I love that part of it, because to me, then things can happen. Like everybody on Critter Kitchen said, can you make everything wood? Just every token. And we were like, no. And then we were like, well, maybe. Hold on a second. Hold on. We'll be right back. And we did.
Yeah, it's lovely to, like we do make the game to a point where it's ready, but at the same time, there's spaces where we're flexible. We're like, okay, this is what everyone's wanting. Let's have a think. Let's see what we can do, and that's really nice. Someone has asked about the box and said, Since we're back to duels, is the box final hardwood? It's not hardwood. it's a cardboard box.
Yeah, no, we're not making a not yet the like all wooden like intricately carved box, but it does have a metal clasp on it. Now, this was an idea that came up while we were talking to manufacturers, because there is magnets in the box that hold the board to each side of the board has a magnet to hold it down, so that the drawers those have magnets. But when we put a magnet in the top also to magnetize it to itself, then it started causing some problems between the two magnets. And we were thinking about doing a clasp, which just felt very fancy for a deluxe box. How do you get?
I may have answered that fairly.
So there's a little pull tab, and that helps you pop it open and get your pieces.
And there's one side which is a big compartment, which is where the chip bag goes, which is over here. And another side has two compartments where you put your cards and your picks. So
it's interesting about so MP was saying about the clasp damaging it. Now, one of the things is, I don't think so, because it's only on one side. So the other thing is, like, when you're storing it on your shelf, it should be the side facing in, or it should be the top. I mean, and you shouldn't have to do that. And if you're putting it in a bag, I think you can sort that with the clasp. Now, the way that we're shipping it is actually the manufacturer's like, we're gonna like pad the lock and wrap it, and so that like it stays good. A bunch of empty boxes.
Are we going to get another Dragon Maid bag for the chips? And if so, can we finally get it as a canvas bag? oh, right, like a separate thing. Interesting.
So that's the funny part about what we were saying about that. And I liked Stephanie's comment too about you're baking a cake, but only gets frosting if you meet the stretch goal. There are going to be ideas. We're going to show a bag that we want to make, which is a velvet bag, and it is going to be dual colored. We're not going to put markings on it, because one of the things we're thinking about, the embroidery of that was going to be over the top. So we've decided to spend money on, like, we're making plastic cards, and we're making these awesome chips, and we're making magnets and a lock. But I hope the velvet bag will be choice, like a really nice bag. And we're not going to do it so that it stands up like the Critter Kitchen bag, because when it stands up, it will not fit as easily in the box. And we're trying to make this travel friendly and stuff like that.
I will say the weight of the chips it should still be able to, even when it hasn't got a base, this one. So they're quite heavy, so they should still be able to sit up.
Axel's like, we want embroidery. Shush.
I love that.
It's so, because Rosie was just mentioning, like, you get to this point where people are like, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that, and I have this idea, and I'm like, what about this? I know those are going to come up. Definitely those are going to come up. Some of them we will be able to say, yeah, we could do that. Just like the one happened in this stream where someone said, could you do Raiders with existing cards? That's like an awesome idea that we could do. I know one of the ones that's going to come up on Duels that we're not going to be able to do because the chips are set. But I know that someone will inevitably ask, can we get like waffle on a chip? But that's not happening. But waffle is going into Flamecraft instead. So we'll do our best to like field those things as we go. But this production of this box has been one of the most it's been a challenging production because of the magnets and because of all the different pieces. And we've not made clacky chips like this before. And so we had to like talk that out. And turns out making dual colors on the sides of the chips is difficult. It's difficult to get it right.
It is indeed.
Thank you, Peter. Waffles and chips does sound delicious. You know what I'd like to hear too, because we do, it's possible that when we launch this campaign, there will be other ideas that come up. That's sometimes what happens with merch, which is that people will say, oh, this is really awesome, but I thought of another thing that you could do. And we could always take those ideas, not glow in the dark. We could always take those ideas and potentially launch like you know, because someone was saying like Waffle could be on some merch, and definitely are open to thinking about how these high dragons, these dual dragons, are going to be, you know, in the future on various things that we're making, you know.
Yep.
So we do love all the ideas. It's part of the reason why Kickstarter is so great, because we're going to put this out there and someone will say, "Ooh, can I have this on art print? Can I do this on a shirt? Can we have, you know, this and that and the other thing?" And that's fun to hear all those ideas. So, but one of the things about this campaign that's a little different than what we've done before is we're not doing stretch goals. We're launching the thing with everything unlocked, like as it is. The reason for that is because it's one of our smaller campaigns and it's designed to be ready to go. It actually fits the whole travel theme. It is done. Like we're hoping to make it fast. Part of the reason, one of the things that stretch goals do that people don't realize is that when you make a stretch goal, then the production team's got to actually go make that happen after that. And it's fun, but sometimes it leads to like, oh, we never, like when we did stretch goals for Critter Kitchen, I think Game Trace had to rethink the box about 10 times because they were like, well, you didn't tell me it was going to have this and that and the other thing in there. This one, we're pre-stretching it so that we can go to print immediately because we'd like to get this to be our fastest Kickstarter ever made, our most compact Kickstarter. And, you know, when you do a low stretch goal environment, you also make it pretty easy to understand. You either are in for duels and the extra dragon cards, or, you know, or you're in for the plush maybe. But you know what you're getting immediately from the top, which is a way some companies actually run their Kickstarters. We just haven't done it that way ourselves. So it's really kind of exciting to do one where it's low stretch goals. Now, what are we going to do to compensate for the fact that there's less stretch goals? We're going to do random, silly, goofy stuff. I actually asked about a puzzle. Of course, we're going to do a puzzle. We're going to do streams with Sandara. We're going to do streams with Rich Molina, who's making said puzzle. There may be announcements of special things that, you know, we can't reveal just yet, but just random, crazy, fun, goofy stuff on the Kickstarter, because as Rosie mentioned, we like to make it interactive and fun the whole time.
And someone's mentioning, there's a few people mentioning t-shirts. So yes, we're very aware that you want t-shirts. So we are working on it. At the moment, I'm wearing one of the sort of test prints.
There you go. Very nice.
We're using a print on demand service, and it's very close. We just have to make sure that we're 100% happy with how they're being made, because as soon as they're done, then people can just go and order it from our site, and it'll immediately be made by the print on demand and sent to you. Like, we don't stock them because there's a lot of space needed for t-shirts and a lot of different sizes.
It's coming. It is so close. So what Rosie was saying is we want to make it so that if someone in France can go on the site and like the print on demand makes it closer to France and ships it for a better price than if we ship these from the US or we kept stock in our current Cardboard Alchemy stores. We could not keep all the stock in there at all the sizes. So what we're doing is going to the service where anyone can go get a shirt. The 4 shirts that we're going to launch with are going to be the Flamecraft shirt, the Newtown emblem, like that's the banner, that's the crest for Flamecraft. We're going to have the Critter Kitchen Zoo Chef in a Zoo Chef Inception shirt. That's a fun one. That's going to be on a teal blue color. And we're going to have an Andromeda's Edge shirt, which is going to be the Astro Dracus faction with a purple logo on a dark blue. And then we're also going to have the Cardboard Alchemy shirt with a potion bottle, because some people have said that they would join us in spreading Cardboard Alchemy everywhere.
And what's awesome about print on demand is we can do more designs because we don't have to stock them and buy in loads of sizes. So if there is anything in like more games in the future we want to do, like for example, someone said the Duels logo, we're able to do those things and we don't have to buy them in bulk in 15 different sizes. So that's what's really nice about them. So the only thing we have to do is just make sure that the color is available across all of their different printing facilities, because they have lots of different places with different quantities of t-shirts. It's a whole thing. Yeah.
A fun fact about that is that the original Andromeda's Edge shirts were made with like a moisture wicking material. And we were going to do that for the shirts that we're making, but it's not available. That type of fabric is not available at all the different hubs, and so we don't want the shirt to be like one place and not at another place. So we switched to a cotton shirt, which is fine. It's still good. It's really it's like a nice cotton shirt. So, but that's, and then we have to test the, as Rosie was saying, we have to test the colors. So make sure that if you buy a Flamecraft shirt, it's going to be just as cute as if you get it anywhere. So
yeah.
I would love to hear, we'll have to start, because I'm seeing some ideas like a potion bottle shirt and stuff. Someday when the shirts are live and we share the shirt site out, we'll have to ask for other ideas after the initial wave and say, what other shirts would you like to see up there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. They are cotton, Ellie. I think there's a tiny bit of lycra, I'm not sure. But we always make sure that on the information before buying them, it'll say everything. So sorry if you can hear Doug cooking. I'm about to have a curry.
I just want to say to our fans that are, because I never thought somebody would ever pick a Cardboard Alchemy shirt, and then it's like, I just love the fact that you would wear a Cardboard Alchemy shirt. That's like such an honor.
Really cool.
It really is touching. So thank you for the interest in that. We're having.
I look forward to people walking around events and someone going, "Do you work for Cardboard Alchemy?" And they're like, "No."
but in a weird way though, Rosie, is like, if I saw that, I'd be like, "Do you know how to? Can you teach me Critter Kitchen?"
Yeah, that's true.
It would be yes.
That's true. That's very true.
You might get it. You might have some people saying like, "Can you run this demo for me?"
Yeah, I can see people wanting every single Andromeda's Edge faction as a t-shirt.
Yeah, that would be 21 shirts. We might have to see, like, we did a popularity thing while Andromeda's Edge was running, and Astrodracus is the number 1, but we'll have to see if there's a number 2 and a number 3 possibly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway, we're sort of we're at our end time, and I know there's been more questions, but if we didn't get to your question, especially if it's about duels, ping us next week or type it into the YouTube in this stream and we can answer it next week. We also have Facebook groups. We have a Facebook group for Critter Kitchen, Flamecraft, and Andromeda's Edge. We have a Discord. The Discord's about to get very busy because when a campaign launches, we do some of the puzzle solving in there. People can test duels in there and try it out, give it a spin. Also, we have testing for Andromeda's Edge in there, and there's a lot of fun chat. There's a really good community in Discord, so we'll have that link up for you if you want to check it out. We're here to answer whatever you have, any questions you have about game making or any of our games.
And come back next week, because is it the last live before we launch?
We got Nicole on our team joining in. So excited. Nicole is we're building up to this 11 days from now, and as Rosie said, next Friday is our last live before the campaign, and then there'll be several lives during the campaign, which is always a lot of fun because we have a lot of people joining us who've never seen one of our live streams and get to ask a whole ton of questions about the game. Those are the people who will be flooding into the Discord to ask how to play, and it would be great if our community is there to say, hey, I know how to play. I can show you. So appreciate all the help and appreciate all the support. As we've mentioned in Discord, it is a crazy time in the United States. So we are trying to do the best we can to make games still. And it's only possible with a team. Like, it's only possible if the community says, yes, let's still make games. So we really appreciate you out there. Everybody have a great weekend playing games. We didn't get to talk about what you're going to play, but so next week we need a report of what you played.
Well, it's Easter weekend. So in the UK, we get a long weekend, which is 4 days long. Excellent. Unless you're working, it's 4 days long. Yeah, basically, I assume that's a gaming weekend. I will be playing some games.
Every weekend is a gaming weekend.
When it's 4 days long.
Actually, the thing about Easter is my family would not necessarily be into gaming. So Easter always represented, like, there was an official dinner or brunch we were going to, and we all had to get dressed up, and there was church, and I was like, there's gonna be no games today whatsoever.
Yeah.
But Easter is also this fun celebration with your family and friends, usually, to me. So these days,
every Easter, Doug and I make we try to very complex Easter egg hunts. One year I made an escape room out of our lounge. I painted my entire face gold, pretending to be a robot, and he was in the future and had to do a series of relatively complex things
I don't know if
involving
this
magnets and
sounds like
stuff.
Easter, but it sounds awesome.
And we had a fireplace at the time, which are not working one, so I put padlocks and chains across it and hid beer and Easter eggs in it, and said that we're banning beer and Easter unless you can, like, unless you can unlock. He did it in like 20 minutes. He's far too smart. The next year I did a full like day text hunt across London where he had to find clues and puzzles. This time it's involving one of these.
An amazing safe.
He's there.
I didn't know.
It's okay, he doesn't know. And it will be this themed.
Here's what I'm learning, by the way, Rosie. If anybody wants to have a fun time, we just need to go. Like, we need to all move where you are, because you have these whole escape room things and games, and you do these like all themed movie days where you like watch a movie and play games related to that theme. I mean, that sounds awesome.
Doug's planning the next Lord of the Rings one already. He's like, right, got to up it this time. So yeah, we do enjoy foodie themed movie whole days. He's actually going to go watch Mission Impossible all night at a cinema in London. He's going to start from about 11 p.m. and finish about 5 or 6 a.m.
Is the new one out yet?
This is 4, 5, and 6, I think.
Because there's 4, 5, 6, and then 7 part 1 and 7 part 2 is coming out this summer.
I love Mission Impossible.
I was, the first, it's funny because this is very much a tangent, but the first Mission Impossible, right? It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, fantastic.
And the second Mission Impossible is one of the worst movies ever.
It's when he had long hair.
It's so bad. And I was trying to show my son Mission Impossible, and he's like, what is this? What happened?
Yeah.
And so then I just sort of said, I guess they're not making good Mission Impossible movies. But then when it got around to like 5, 6, and 7, they get really good again.
Really good.
It gets really good.
3 is stressful. Really stressful.
I think you should just get like the 5, 6, 7. That's what I think is the best.
Isn't it the same director at that point? There's someone who's writing them, or but yeah, I very much it's just an experience. I really enjoy it. Don't skip 3 movies, just live through it. Okay, just do it.
No, it's funny because I believe when Rosie, when you were doing your like pirates themed day, and you were you were also like, this isn't as good as the next one, but we're gonna we're just gonna get through this pirates movie and then get to the good one.
Yeah, we did 1 to 3. We didn't really listen to 4 or 5, but I did really love that Doug bought this mist spray, and every time water would hit a boat, he'd spray it, and it was so disgusting smelling. Just like, oh God. But he was like, "Ooh, water."
Oh,
yeah, it was
that
not.
does remind me of another movie experience that I had, which is, again, we're in the tangent part of the stream.
Are you still here, everyone?
But I was in Bangkok, Thailand, and I wanted to go see a movie. So I decided to go to this massive multiplex where it was at the top of a mall, because they do everything in malls in Bangkok. That's just like everything's in a mall, even car dealerships, by the way. It's bizarre. So you're on like floor 15 of this mall, and there's this massive, massive movie theater where they're advertising 4D. It was like Godzilla versus Kong. It was when that was coming out, right?
That's a great one.
So I was like, I want to see this. And they're like, don't worry, it's in English, so you can totally watch this. So I go in, and you're sitting in these rickety bleachers, and then every time Godzilla stops anywhere near water, it's like they just spray, like water gets at you, and then they put a smell, and then there's like every stop, and the bleachers are just like going like this the whole time. I couldn't watch the movie. I was like, everything they do as a monster is causing the entire set to totally reverberate, and the sounds were going insane, and I was getting splashed the whole time. I was like,
there's only a few movies it really works with. I saw one with sword fighting, and I was like, I wouldn't feel this. They would. Why am I feeling like it doesn't make sense? I've seen a few 4D ones, and they are interesting. I remember there was a pirates one at like a theme park near us that would just spray salt water at you. But it's good fun. I think the next one we're planning on doing is Well, we've done Jurassic Park. We've done Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it was Wallace and Gromit because we could drink a lot of tea.
Nice.
I can't remember what his other one was that he was planning on doing. Back to the Future is definitely in there because we could have burgers.
Yeah.
And probably burgers again. Future food.
Absolutely.
Although it's not really future food, it's now, isn't it? We're now in the time of the future of Back to the Future.
We are, yes. And
is it 2025 or was it 2015? I can't remember.
Yeah, if Chris is still around. I know he goes back to 55 from 85 and then goes, I mean, if he's doing
another 30 years.
Yeah, 2015.
2015. I would have thought this year would be more important to media if it was. Oh, it was 10 years in the past. Oh, we're going to have food from 10 years ago. What would that be like?
Well, to anybody who's not, so you could go see a movie this weekend. You go celebrate Easter. You could go play games if you're staying inside. Hope you have a fun time playing games. Yes. And thanks for watching. And we'll just be busy working on a Kickstarter over here. And then we're going to come back and talk about it launching. So game on, everyone.